When I woke up, I saw Guru Maharaj was holding his chest and he was into so much pain. He said, "Can you call some doctor? I'm in so much pain." Then I asked Guru Maharaj, I could have called him before. It will take time now to reach. He said, "No, no, you were sleeping. I didn't want to wake you up." So he was ready to bear that pain, but he was not ready to wake me up. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिचारु स्वामिनिति नामिने स्निग्धचेतः सुप्रणेता गाम्निनां चरसाकृतं प्रभुपादकतप्राणनौमि भक्तिचारुपदम्। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण। So I'm very grateful to be in the wonderful association of BCS Australia family. And I'm sorry, last time at last moment, I had to request Somendra Krishna Prabhu that I can't join. I also forgot the reason, but I really could not join that time. So please forgive me. And today, incidentally, last time when we met, I was in a particular house in Surat. And exactly I'm in the same house today. Somehow the coincidence that I'm in the same house in Surat today. When I'm meeting all of you. So this place is auspicious for me that I get your association here. So thank you so much. And I'll start with one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam because I was recently reading it in 8th canto. And while reading that verse, I immediately connected it to Guru Maharaj. Very much fits to his personality. This is 8th canto, 7th verse, the 7th chapter, 44th verse. So the chapter is when demigods and demons they start to churn the milk ocean. So that time, first thing comes out is halahal, poison. And they request Lord Shiva. There are long prayers where demigods pray to Lord Shiva. And almost they put Lord Shiva into the position of Supreme Personality of God. You know how we, in Hindi we say makhan polish. You know how we butter people when we want to do something, when we want to get out something out of them. So almost they put Lord Shiva in the position of Supreme Personality of God. But Lord Shiva's response is very important. Lord Shiva discusses with Bhavani and he speaks 3 4 verses. This verse is one of them. He says, Tapyanti lokatapena sadhava prayasho jana paramaradhanam tadhi purushasya khilatmana. He says, it is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is present in everyone's heart. So there are different levels to serve the Supreme Lord. There are different kinds of devotees. Some they are very enthusiastic to liberate themselves from the material world, which is good. There are some devotees who want to serve the Supreme Lord directly. That is also good. But then there are devotees who serve the Supreme Lord by serving his souls, by serving his children who are lost in the material world. That is the highest degree of Vaishnava. Vaishnava has this natural compassion, and this compassion extends to any limit. He takes personal inconvenience to help people in general. And this is our Guru Maharaj. If we think about his personality, He would go to any extent to help people, to serve them, to encourage them in Krishna consciousness. Actually, we recently were fortunate to attend the festival in Deland, where on the Memorial Day, so America celebrates Memorial Day on 26th of May, and this is for the soldiers who gave up their life for country, and they respect those soldiers. So His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he was there, and he was mentioning that actually for our ISKCON, this Memorial Day should be dedicated to His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, because he was our army general who gave up his life for preaching Krishna consciousness, for encouraging devotees. And that's how he sets the standard of what Vaishnava compassion is. In this festival, around 60, 70 Prabhupada disciples participated, around 60 to 70 Prabhupada disciples. It was rare to see so many Prabhupada disciples together in honoring their God brother. And over 800, 850 devotees were present in general. And all these God brothers of Guru Maharaj were glorifying him from the bottom of their heart. We know Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, he is known for his strong personality. When he preaches really strong and straightforward. In this festival, when he was remembering Guru Maharaj, he was giving his offering, he broke down crying. And everyone was shocked that Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj is such a strong personality and he's crying. And he mentioned that after Srila Prabhupada, I don't miss anybody more than His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami. That's the extent Guru Maharaj touched heart of his God brothers. Another senior God brother of Guru Maharaj, Garuda Prabhu, he is known for his scholarship. Even in Ocean of Mercy, he wrote a section. And Garuda Prabhu was sobbing like a child. See, different Prabhupada disciples were actually helping him to even stand, because he was almost collapsing. He was crying. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj made a very nice statement. He said, if you want to see a non-envious Vaishnava, that is Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. And he said from his personal experience that although Guru Maharaj was one of the only Prabhupada disciples who could preach in Bengali, who could sing Bengali bhajans with such high standards, and he didn't preach in Bengal. And Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is saying, why he didn't preach in Bengal? When he would ask Guru Maharaj, he would say that you see, your Guru Maharaj is Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is already preaching in Bengal. So why should I unnecessarily create confusion? Let him preach. I'll preach outside. There's so many places to preach. Only after His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj got stroke in 2008, after that Guru Maharaj started preaching in Bengal. And after that only he was made GBC for Bangladesh also. So Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is making a statement that this is Vaishnava. He was not into competition. He was not into making his own followers, making his disciples. He was seeing that if his God brothers are doing something, he will never compete. We have a devotee in Ujjain. His name is Tushtatma Krishna Prabhu. So he loved Guru Maharaj a lot from his college days. He is from Bengal, wanted to take initiation from Guru Maharaj. And his mentor who preached him was disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So naturally he had also love for Jayapataka Maharaj. Now he was in confusion from whom to take initiation. So he went to Guru Maharaj and he asked that Guru Maharaj, I am in confusion from whom to take initiation. There's Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. I respect him a lot and I love you also. So from whom to take initiation? Guru Maharaj said, why there should be confusion? You should definitely take initiation from His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. He is my senior God brother. Take initiation from him, and as your uncle, I'll always be there. I'll always help you. So that devotee was mentioning in his offering that we distribute books, and even one score, if it doesn't count in our name and it goes to somebody else, we feel so uncomfortable. And here a devotee wants to become a disciple. Guru Maharaj is so non-envious. And no, you should take initiation from my senior god brother. That was his compassion to keep ISKCON together. And therefore, if you see, Guru Maharaj could touch hearts of devotees all over the world because he was not expecting something out of them. He was just giving. Radhanath Swami Maharaj was mentioning that when we used to go, when proper disciples used to go to Mayapur, he would just offer services. Let me feed you prasad. You have accommodation, let me arrange for you. You have pickup, I'll arrange pickup for you. You want to go somewhere around Mayapur, I'll arrange for you. And even when GBC meetings were there in Ujjain, we personally observed that he left his quarters. He gave his quarters for ministry meetings and other accommodations, and he was staying in guest house in one room. And at one point, actually, that guest house room also had to be given. So Guru Maharaj was sharing bathroom with one sannyasi. Bhakti Samat Maharaj came and Guru Maharaj said, okay, he can live in this room, I can live in. There was only one bathroom, which was between the two rooms. And Guru Maharaj is ready to share the bathroom with another devotee. So here he is the leader of the community. He is organizing GBC meetings and he was the chairman of the GBC that year. But he's ready to give up all facilities just to serve the Vaishnavas. So that's how he touched. Recently, we got Sanjayananda Prabhu and Dhameshwari Mataji. They were in Singapore before. Just 2-3 days back, they were in Ujjain. And they were mentioning how in Seattle, Guru Maharaj became involved and how much he sacrificed his own, even prestige, to save that temple. Actually, not going into details, but the temple was going through big crisis. The previous leadership made some decisions which brought a lot of complications to the temple. And that's where Guru Maharaj was made the GBC. Guru Maharaj's history is like that, 40 years in ISKCON. Wherever there is crisis, that time he is given leadership of that place. His history is like that. You see New Mayapur, you see Bhaktivedanta Manor, you see different places. He became GBC when they were in complete crisis. And when Guru Maharaj became GBC, he was asked to write a formal apology for all things which were happened before when he was not even the GBC. And he did that. He wrote formal apology. Not only he wrote, he personally met those individuals who were upset with temple, who were even planning to file a court case against temple. He personally met them, begged forgiveness on behalf of ISKCON. That's how he saved the community. Now, even coming to the funds, financial help, he was not GBC of many temples, but whenever devotees asked for help, he would keep his projects aside and he would help the temples. Like I remember one time he was in Sanford, and I often share this pastime. He was in Sanford and he was making calculations. I have to give this much money to Deland, to give this much money to Ujjain, I have to give this much money to this thing. He was writing all these calculations and it was a big figure. Guru Maharaj was planning how to pay this money because in our bank account we hardly had anything. So how to pay that money? And the next day, one devotee, he called from UK and he said, Guru Maharaj, you instructed me that I should earn and help ISKCON. So I have some Lakshmi. I want to donate to you. So Guru Maharaj said, okay, you can donate. How much? And exactly the figure which Guru Maharaj calculated last night, he mentioned the same figure. So Guru Maharaj said, okay, you can transfer. And then Guru Maharaj was smiling. And Guru Maharaj is saying, you see, Krishna arranges whatever I need. So that was covered. But this is not the end of the story. So after some days, Guru Maharaj went to New Mayapur in France. And there, Guru Maharaj had a meeting with the local management who told Guru Maharaj that, see Maharaj, this is an old castle. So when Prabhupada bought it, that was already old castle. It's already 50 years since Prabhupada established ISKCON in this place. So now this castle needs to be renovated. And the renovation cost is coming to some $1 million or something. Just the fire security and other things, it is costing a lot. We can't handle it. Can you help us? And here Guru Maharaj was in so much crisis of Lakshmi that he owed money to people. That money was just settled few days before, and he had nothing in his bank account. He conducts an Ishtagoshti with all his influential contacts in UK and Europe, raised money, and renovated the whole castle. He renovated the whole project. And he not only that, he told some very, very affluent devotees in UK that from now on your responsibility is to help New Maya. So although Guru Maharaj left his body 5 years back, I went to UK around 1 month back. So these devotees told us that we are still helping New Mayapur because Guru Maharaj instructed us, and that project really needs help. And we can't imagine if Guru Maharaj would have not taken this initiative, what would be condition of that project today. So that is his nature. Like Lord Shiva is drinking poison for demigods. Lord Shiva has nothing to do with churning of the ocean, but he's drinking poison voluntarily to help demigods. During COVID time, Mayapur management contacted Guru Maharaj and they said, Maharaj, our security bill is this much and our this bill is that much. And the Mayapur is an international project. There's so many big leaders involved in Mayapur. But they contacted Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj said, okay, I'll help you. He makes a video, he launches the video, he contacts his disciples and well-wishers and raises money for Mayapur. He transferred a lot of money to Mayapur during COVID time. And at that time, it's not that Ujjain was not struggling. Ujjain was struggling, Giland was struggling, Paniati was struggling, his own projects were struggling. But he kept them aside and he helped Mayapur. So although on paper we read his introduction and many times we say, oh, Maharaj served as GBC for Ujjain and Paniati and few places here and there, but actually his compassion didn't limit to his zones. His compassion extended to whole of ISKCON. And that was his service. I remember one time when he was having this shingles, very painful. And Guru Maharaj admitted that he never took painkillers, but the shingles is so painful that he had to take painkillers to handle that pain. And he was in such pain. We were traveling from Mayapur to Calcutta, and we left around Brahma Muhurta time, and I slept on the way. So by the time we reached Calcutta, there was honking and that sound. I woke up. When I woke up, I saw Guru Maharaj was holding his chest, and he was into so much pain. He said, "Can you call some doctor? I'm in so much pain." And I asked Guru Maharaj, I could have called him before. It will take time now to reach. He said, no, you were sleeping. I didn't want to wake you up. So he was ready to bear that pain, but he was not ready to wake me up. And then we arranged for doctor, and then doctor gave lot of painkillers and medicines. And then next day, the TOVP team comes and they request Guru Maharaj, like, Maharaj, can you do a fundraising program for TOVP? And we all were like, can't you see his condition? He's in so much pain taking medicines. Guru Maharaj said, no, sure, I'll do this program. And when we were leaving for this program, TOVP fundraising program, even a little bump in road or little speed breaker, Guru Maharaj was feeling so much pain. He said, even my clothes touching the shingles, it pains me. He was in so much pain. We reached to the program. Guru Maharaj goes to the stage. He started speaking. And he's speaking like roar of a lion, speaking so much energy. And we were thinking that, okay, maybe Guru Maharaj is feeling better today, preaching. He's in the middle of thing, Guru Maharaj called, he signaled us, he called, I went near to him. Guru Maharaj said, can you bring my painkiller? I'm having unbearable pain. But through his expressions, through his voice, through his personality, he never made anybody feel on that stage or in the whole program that he was going through so much pain. That is his sacrifice. Bhakti Marg Maharaj wrote to Guru Maharaj about shingles, and he wrote a letter to him. So I included that in the book. I'll just read from there. So this is page 261. So here Guru Maharaj writes, Bhakti Marg Maharaj asked, Maharaj, how you are doing? I heard you got shingles and things. Guru Maharaj wrote to him, thank you very much for your email. I got shingles. It is not that serious, but extremely painful. I was not hospitalized, but the doctor suggested that I take complete rest for a few weeks. I complied. However, after 3 days of lying in bed and sitting around doing nothing, actually, this is wrong. I because Guru Maharaj didn't take even 3 days of rest. He did this TOEP program and he was meeting devotees and doing all that. But Guru Maharaj is writing here after 3 days of lying in bed and sitting around doing nothing, I got so bored that I decided to follow my schedule. I went to Ujjain from Calcutta for a day, then left for Singapore and Malaysia. Today I am on my way to Cape Town, South Africa. I am still alive, and wherever I go, devotees seem to be happy to see me. So he's saying, I'm still alive. I travel, so devotees are happy. So he's ready to take all pains just to serve devotees. And therefore, his godbrothers would sometimes call him the spiritual crack healer. So he is crack healer, spiritual crack healer. He would connect people. He would deeply connect with them and inspire them in Krishna consciousness. Like one time we were in Mayapur and one couple came from US. Now this couple was around. He was in ISKCON around for many years, but they were not initiated, and they were, for some reasons, they were having not that high inspiration. So they said that we want to travel with you, Maharaj. And when you tell Guru Maharaj that we want to travel with you, and that's it. He'll make all arrangements. He'll book the flights. He will arrange accommodation, prasadam. You will have an assistant to take care of you, who will be around you, and all these facilities Guru Maharaj arranges naturally. So this couple was there, and we were supposed to leave from Mayapur to Calcutta. They were in another car. Guru Maharaj was in another car. They requested before leaving that Maharaj, we want to be with you. But since the car was compact and they were like couple, two of them, and they couldn't fit in one car, so Guru Maharaj said, okay, you come in the next car. But then they said, Maharaj, we want to be with you, so cars should go together. And now Guru Maharaj, he is very punctual, very punctual. If he wants to leave at certain time, he will not go here, and he can't wait. He can't wait. He hate waiting. Can't wait for even 1 second. Now this devotee was driving Guru Maharaj. He saw the other cars taking time, so he took the car ahead, Guru Maharaj's car. Guru Maharaj became very upset. In Bengali, he told that devotee, they requested me that they want to travel with me. The car should go together. Why can't you respect their emotions? So deep. Although I can wait, I can wait. I don't like waiting, but I don't mind waiting. But I want to respect their emotions. That is his compassion. So this is what was very central theme of D-Land program, where different devotees were expressing that how much Guru Maharaj sacrificed, how much he did to keep SCON together. Like when we got this D-Land project, that time we were doing this catering, supplying prasadam to different companies. So the most critical part was making chapatis. This was the most critical part, because other things you can cook in bulk, but to make chapatis, it takes individual time. And we were supplying sometimes 70 boxes, 80 boxes, sometimes 100 boxes. And even if you keep 3 to 4 chapatis, you have to make 300 to 400 chapatis. Now, all big Maharathis, sometimes Bhakti Prem Maharaj and sometimes they were rolling chapatis. That's the main service. So 300 to 400 chapatis. So Guru Maharaj got a chapati making machine. So he personally selected, how Guru Maharaj is very particular. He personally selected, he sent devotees to Gujarat and they tested everything. They brought machine to Ujjain. Then Guru Maharaj tested things in Ujjain. And then to ship that from India to US was another challenge. So Guru Maharaj made arrangements to get permissions to ship it. And finally the machine reaches D-Land. Now Guru Maharaj visited Atlanta. Now Atlanta, they do exactly same corporate lunch. And they also have same difficulty of making chapatis. They're discussing with temple president Vedasar Prabhu. Vedasar, what do you do about chapatis? Oh Maharaj, we are struggling. We have to get devotees to roll chapatis. Very difficult. You know how difficult it is. He said, oh, I'll send you a chapati making machine. All this trouble he took to bring this chapati making machine to D-Land. He gifted it to Atlanta Temple without even second thought. And we were looking, Guru Maharaj, he said, we can manage, he is into more difficulty, let him take this. This is his nature. He can't see others into trouble. He want to help them even at the cost of his own inconvenience. When Bashugosh Prabhu came to Ujjain, I think it was 2016, and he requested Guru Maharaj that, Maharaj, you have so many brahmacharis. Now in Ujjain we see brahmacharis, but then the projects are also so many. Guru Maharaj had so many different projects going on under one roof of Ujjain temple that we need more and more devotees, and we are always in crisis. So Bashugosh Prabhu requested Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj sent the best five brahmacharis to Baroda temple. They were the best of that time. Guru Maharaj sent them. One of them is Vansidhari Prabhu, who is serving as assistant regional secretary for Gujarat now. He's so capable. Similarly, Yashomati Nandan Prabhu came from Ahmedabad, 2017. He said, Maharaj, you sent to Baroda, why don't you send in Ahmedabad? Guru Maharaj said, okay, let me send. And it's not that Guru Maharaj is sending, okay, whoever is, you can't engage in Ujjain, you send to Ahmedabad. No. Guru Maharaj called Ishtagoshti of Brahmachari. Then he said, give me five best. The five best he already sent to Baroda. Then he said, give me another five best. And then he sends to Ahmedabad. Then the Bhubaneswar devotees request, Maharaj, you send to them, why don't you send to Bhubaneswar? You want youth preaching to happen. Guru said, okay, give me another five best. Guru Maharaj sent to Bhubaneswar. And now these devotees in Bhubaneswar, they have achieved so much in youth preaching that there is IIT in Bhubaneswar. They bought a land in front of IIT. They built a student preaching center in front of IIT, opened a Govinda's restaurant in front of IIT, and they opened so many other preaching programs around Odisha. Devotees are so happy. Not only that, in South Africa, in America, different temples, different places. And Guru Maharaj knew he had crisis in Ujjain. It's not that he has over, manpower and so many extra devotees there that he can send them here and there. Still, he sent them. One time, actually, in Mayapur, Hemanga Chaitanya Prabhu, he asked Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, you are going on helping all these devotees. How many you will help? How many will be, how many you will handle like this? Guru Maharaj said, as many as I can, I'll not stop serving devotees. As leaders of this movement, people trust us. Krishna is taking care of devotees. How? Through other senior Vaishnavas. That's how Krishna takes care of general devotees. So I need to take care of these devotees. In lockdown, Guru Maharaj was sitting in his room and was thinking about different devotees. One day he called us and he said, that one devotee in Calcutta, he has catering business. So he earns his livelihood through catering. But in Corona, he will not get any orders. So how will he sustain himself? Now that devotee didn't approach Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj is thinking in his office. Guru Maharaj said, call him. And he asked how he is sustaining himself. So I called. He asked, Prabhu, how you are doing? He said, this crisis, there's no catering orders. I'm struggling. And I told Guru Maharaj said, transfer this amount of money every month to his account. Now, Guru Maharaj himself had no income that time, no donations. But he said, then Guru Maharaj said, in Calcutta, there is another devotee. He serves in BBT. Call him and ask how he is doing. So I called him. He is very senior godbrother of ours who wrote Guru Maharaj Pranam Mantra. So I called him. Guru Maharaj asked him, how you are doing? He said, nice, Guru Maharaj. He said, how are you managing financially? He was silent. Guru Maharaj didn't tell anything to him. Guru Maharaj told me, you take his account details, you send money every month. Another devotee serving in BI, Bhaktivedanta Institute in Calcutta. Guru Maharaj said, call him also, how he is doing. So I called him. He is also struggling because Bhaktivedanta Institute, no donation, nothing is coming. Guru Maharaj said, transfer this much money every month. And he continued. So that's how he was. Even on his cost, even on his inconvenience, he did service to all these Vaishnavas. And therefore it's important that his life, his pastimes should be shared with ISKCON in general. Devotees should know how a Vaishnava is, how a Vaishnava is supposed to be. We all are disciples of Guru Maharaj, but we don't own Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj belongs to whole of ISKCON. So by sharing his life, by sharing his teachings, actually we are doing service to ISKCON. It's not a God family thing that we love our spiritual master, so we glorify him. He never considered himself to be of his disciples. He considered himself to be of all ISKCON devotees. So when we discuss his glories, actually it benefits the whole world. Gauranga Prabhu came to Gauranga Prabhu from Chowpatty, who came to Ujjain recently, I think 3 months back, 2 3 months back, and he came to Govinda's to take prasad. So I was around, and he said, "Okay, you also sit." He was sharing something. He said, after joining GBC, what I realized. So he became GBC member now. So he said, after joining GBC, what I realized? Your Guru Maharaj and Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, these two devotees, were holding the Govardhan of ISKCON. And we all were just putting our sticks. Like, Krishna was holding Govardhan and the Gopas were putting their sticks. Not to minimize anybody's contribution, but he was giving this example. He said, when your Guru Maharaj left and Gopal Krishna Maharaj left, now we are realizing how much weight they were carrying on their head. And that also not with stress. They were so natural. They were moving around, meeting people, giving them, sweet exchanges of love, everything they were doing. But they were holding this burden of ISKCON, loving burden of Prabhupada's movement, handling big, big issues. And now in their absence, we don't know how to deal with these different issues. He was mentioning about this Ritvik thing. In India now, we are going through a lot of, turmoil with Ritviks, especially after they won the Supreme Court case. Of course, that time the case was at the peak. The result didn't come. But he was saying if your Guru Maharaj was there, I'm sure he would have handled it. There's so many different, leaders facing spiritual difficulties. And he said, we don't know how to deal with them. We know if your Guru Maharaj was there, he could have handled it. That is his glory. Somehow the reality of this world is when we lose something, we realize its importance more. So now it's our responsibility that the way Guru Maharaj presented himself, the way Guru Maharaj served ISKCON, we should carry that spirit. We should keep his mood alive, either by our own example or sharing his glories or doing what he expected. And that's what devotees are doing in different places of the world. Another comment Jayadeva Swami Maharaj gave in D-Land, he said, your Guru Maharaj trained his disciples so nicely that they are continuing their services in the local temples. And he appreciated that point. Generally, after Guru leaves, the disciples go away. They feel less motivated to serve. But Jayadeva Maharaj especially pointed out that your Guru Maharaj trained your God family so nicely that even after his departure, they all are continuing to serve their local temples so nicely. So that is another way we can keep Guru Maharaj's glory alive. So with all that thoughts, I thought to share that how Guru Maharaj is perfectly fitting Lord Shiva's example. And you see, incidentally, he chose Ujjain to build the temple, which is another city of Mahakal, Lord Shiva's city. So very much he takes his mood. He takes that compassion, forgiving nature, Ashutosh, becoming pleased very easily. And he gave that loving culture in ISKCON, which we all need. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Ki jai.
Jai.
His Grace Krishna Kishore Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Ki jai.
It's so nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much for wonderful pastimes of Guru Maharaj and how you related it to Lord Shiva. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Firstly, we are very, very grateful. Sorry, Sumant Prabhu is still there. I thought Sumant Prabhu is... Prabhu, are you able to speak?
No, Prabhu, you please continue. Thank you.
Sure, Prabhu, sure. I was just thinking, Prabhu, that it is so nice to have you. I know your visit to Australia is overdue, and it's so nice to have your book. I read it back page to page, and it's so wonderfully written. Such simple language. It is so much of.
Actually, I want to give credit of this book to Braj Kumari Mataji. Actually, she made it the way it is. And I wrote a very rough draft, but she edited it and she put emotions to that book. I'm very hard person, no emotions, but she put life to that book. So it's all glories to her.
It's so nice, Prabhu. We can't wait for your second book to come out, actually. Is there a date you have yet?
I'm working on it. So it will. Somehow. Actually, we are working on a Hindi version of Volume One.
Okay.
So the Hindi one is coming this Vyas Puja,
Okay.
and then the Volume Two I'll start working.
So nice, Prabhu. You have given us a treasure for our lifetimes, and that brought a lot of clarifications and clarity about Guru Maharaj's mood. I had very low and less understanding of Guru Maharaj. Whatever I was able to minimally serve Guru Maharaj was amplified by your book, and I'm so thankful to you. Genuinely very thankful. And one person who actually motivated me is Shyam Sundar Prabhu. He actually got that book to Australia, and he personally took the pains to distribute it, and I read it, and it is such a treasure, such a treasure. You have brought the whole, not just our Ishta Goshti, but broader ISKCON members together by spreading Guru Maharaj's glories and mercy, and also his mood of serving Srila Prabhupada. It was so important, so timely, Prabhu, and such amazing pastimes. Small pastime, big pastime, does not matter. Everything is like Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying the person Bhagavat there. And even today, so many pastimes naturally flow from you about Guru Maharaj. We can get so much of Guru Maharaj consciousness from you. Thank you so much for all your tireless efforts, Prabhu. We know that your health is also, you do so much of service, so much of preaching, so much of traveling, so much of constant writing, management, new temple, and so much of projects you are doing, Prabhu. So many things. I have not even an iota of things I know, but I know that, Prabhu, you are extremely, extremely deeply absorbed in so much of services and leading it from the front. Your lectures and your personality is very much appreciated in Australia. Many devotees haven't met you personally, but they have heard you, and they say, when is Krishna Kishore Prabhu going to come to Australia? And our Yatra ISKCON West Sydney, many devotees.
It's because everyone loves Guru Maharaj, and I was carrying his luggage. So that was the only
They love you, Prabhu. They
qualification
love
that I
you.
carried his luggage.
All the devotees want you here, and it's our misfortune that the visa situation hopefully gets resolved. We get you here. But even otherwise, Prabhu, thank you so much for this wonderful class. I don't want to take more time, but I want to leave the floor open for all my senior God brothers and God sisters to ask questions or reflect on what you have said. So anything anybody would like to share, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada,
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Prabhu, on the point you said, I was just carrying Guru Maharaj's luggage. I remember a scene that happened in Gurgaon. I think at that time, Pankaj Lochan Prabhu was his secretary. And Guru Maharaj was coming to Anand Atma Prabhu's home, the twin brother, if you remember.
Yes.
So my service was to put the garland. I was a very new kid on the block. I had known Guru Maharaj, but still in terms of service. And I took the garland and I put it on Guru Maharaj's, on the Guru Maharaj's shoulder. Though that was not perfectly done because the flower was not coming right across the navel. And then what happened was, whatever devotees were coming, because I was managing it, I started saying, put it on Guru Maharaj. So everybody was putting it on Guru Maharaj. And when we entered inside, Guru Maharaj called me in his room and Pankaj Lochan Prabhu was there. And he said, when Krishna is there, he loves when his devotees are respected. So if you put garland on me and you don't put on garland on Pankaj Lochan, it's an offense. The secretary of your guru has to be respected in the same way as your guru. And then he also chastised me for the fact that I had put the garland a little bit, not straight, like it was a bit. So he said that if you don't know how to put the garland, then don't put. You learn first and then do it. So there's a lot of chastisement that happened on that day. But the point I'm trying to make here, Prabhu, is that it's not about you picking the Guru Maharaj's luggage. You serve Guru Maharaj so personally, so hard, with all your heart, which we can feel. I have read your Charu Vilas book in complete, and I also feel very grateful. But I wanted to ask you one question. what is one or two pastimes that is closest to your heart, which you can repeat in your own words from your lotus mouth, if you can, which is closest to you. Though personally, I have also met you, and you have told me a couple of pastimes, but I think it will be wonderful to hear
From
it again.
from the book.
Yeah, from the book.
Okay. Yeah, volume one is mainly when I was very new, and actually I'm still new. That time I was very immature, and I was just trying to understand how to serve Guru Maharaj. So one day there was Adivas program in Mayapur, and it was so foolish of me. I was sitting there, and Guru Maharaj was requested by management to garland different devotees. Then senior devotees, Loknath Maharaj was there, Bhakti Nityananda Maharaj, and other sannyasis. They were garlanding devotees, and they were putting chandan on their forehead. All the devotees there in the temple room in Mayapur. And I was expecting that Guru Maharaj will put a garland to me. He was having so many garlands, and he was garlanding devotees and putting chandan. And I was expecting it actually. He said, I am with Guru Maharaj. Naturally, he will give me that garland. Guru Maharaj gave garland to the person next to me, back side, front side, this side, but he didn't give to me. And I was just thinking, okay, I was trying to console myself. Okay, I am with Guru Maharaj anyway. Don't worry. It's okay. I was trying to console myself. But then when we were going back, and the way he understands human emotions, the way he understands everybody, so sensitive. And when we were walking, so on the roof of Radha Madhav's temple, when you go to Guru Maharaj's quarters in Paunch building, there was dark. It was night time. So I put on my flashlight of mobile to just show Guru Maharaj, so that. So as soon as I opened my flashlight, he turned. He said, "Oh, I didn't give you garland." And then he turned and he gave his garland to me. So I was just thinking how much, he's sensitive, so that even a new devotee, a insignificant servant, also doesn't feel discouraged. So that was his nature. So whenever I go there in Mayapur, I remember that how much he cares for each devotee. So one of the chapter I wrote that, a garland of compassion.
Yes.
So this chapter is there.
Thank you so much. Listening from you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, wonderful. Thank you so much, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, for asking that question wonderfully. Such a wonderful pastime. It's so close to you. One might imagine that, as you grew into your bhakti and spent more time with the Guru Maharaj, that, but yeah, old memories are so dear to us that they actually helped us in our Krishna consciousness. Anybody else would like to? Shyam Sundar Prabhu, you unmuted, Prabhu, you want to say something?
No, Prabhu. It's so nice to hear each one of you.
Yes, thank you so much. And yes, still Prabhu, I see unmuted. Prabhu, do you want to say something? Prabhu is unmuted. Okay. Anybody else would like to ask Prabhu anything? Any quick reflections? Rajshekhar Prabhu, are you able to speak? Yes, Rajshekhar Prabhu. I took his name and his hand went up. Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhus and Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All best to Prabhupada, all best to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Prabhu. Great to see you. Sorry I turned late. And I'm just in my car, so I don't know. I mean, because of I'm not sure if I can be seen, but I just wanted to ask a quick question to Krishna Krishna Prabhu, and probably the other God brothers probably also have experience. Just wanted to find out, how in any particular pastimes of Guru Maharaj where you would have seen he manage some sort of like a conflict or conflict resolutions, which is Guru Maharaj, very expert at. But something that probably, if you haven't shared yet, because I joined late. So yeah, I was interested to hear.
He was expert in that.
Yeah,
Actually,
sure.
Most of his time would go in this, resolving conflicts in ISKCON. And even on the level of his disciples and followers, like in one city, We went, and Guru Maharaj has a lot of disciples in that city. But there was some conflict. And one particular leader, he was right. What he was standing for, he was right. But he was not going along with the leader of the community. So the main leader was expecting something else. This devotee was expecting something else. And although he was right, one day Guru Maharaj was going to take rest, and this devotee goes to massage. So Guru Maharaj, while taking massage, he asked him. So Guru Maharaj took his name. He said, when I'll go back to spiritual world and I'll meet Srila Prabhupada, he's going to ask me what is going on in ISKCON. What should I tell him? That my own disciples are fighting? What do you expect me to tell him? Only that much. That's it. The devotee came out, he started crying, and he apologized and he followed the leader. Many, many times this thing happened. Or in the leadership, one sannyasi was speaking against ISKCON, very popular, very prominent. GBC decided to ban that sannyasi. Very sensitive, but I'm just sharing in a nutshell. Now, Guru Maharaj stands up in the meeting and he says, let me try, don't ban him. Let me go and meet him. Now, Guru Maharaj requests this sannyasi that, can you come to Mayapur? He says, no. He said, can you come to Ujjain? He says, no. He said, can I come to your place? He says, no. Then Guru Maharaj said, okay, can we come to a neutral place where it's easier for you to reach and it's easier for me to reach? He agreed on that point. Then that place was a big city. So he said, no, I still can't make it because during the night, the dogs bark. And I can't stay in a place where dogs bark. Guru Maharaj said, don't worry, I'll assign 2 devotees to chase away the dogs where you will stay. So please come. Can you imagine? Now that devotee is going to be banned. The GBC already decided to ban him. And here Guru Maharaj is begging him to meet just to save him only. Guru Maharaj goes there. He really assigns 2 devotees that he chase away the dogs in night so that the devotee can be comfortable. And next day Guru Maharaj met that devotee for hours and saved him actually. So he's still in ISKCON. GBC didn't ban him. Another case, there was another leader in the West, very influential, many temples under him, little bit philosophically different from other part of the ISKCON, decided to split from ISKCON. GBC voted that let him split. We don't care. His philosophy doesn't match. Guru Maharaj volunteered. Let me speak to him. Guru Maharaj personally goes, meet him, convinces him to come to the GBC meeting. He comes to the GBC meeting. Guru Maharaj adds him to the GBC. He made him GBC. And then he saved all those 30, 40 temples under him. So if we count like that, there's so many instances. He goes out of his way. Even Ritviks, Guru Maharaj was very close to bring them to ISKCON. When he went to Delhi to meet Madhu Pandit Prabhu and other leaders from Ritvik movement, when they came and we were following Guru Maharaj, in Delhi temple, when Guru Maharaj saw them, Guru Maharaj bowed down and offered obeisances first. And we all were shocked. They all also offered obeisances, but they were not the first to offer obeisances. Guru Maharaj offered obeisances first. And Guru Maharaj said, if you want to start any discussion, we need to first win their hearts. And that's a Vaishnava. He respects everybody. So we were seeing this different examples. Wherever there were conflict, wherever there were things need to be resolved, Guru Maharaj would go. Sometimes he would request it, sometimes he would go himself to save Srila Prabhupada's movement, to keep it together. So that's how his personality was.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Prabhu. It's wonderful to hear. I know that I think due to personal ego and all the unearths, it's something like a few lifetimes for me but it's something very aspiring and, for something always I aspire to learn. And I think Guru Maharaj is the perfect personification of that. So that's why the more I hear, the more I get inspired. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kishore Prabhu.
Hari Bol, Sumendra Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu, would you like to give a little, just an overview how what's happening in Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival?
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you mentioned in the beginning. So, as you know, Guru Maharaj expected us to celebrate Prabhupada Memorial Festival, a festival centered around Srila Prabhupada. Although GBC gave the resolution that Prabhupada is our preeminent Siksha Guru, and we learn in IDC that Prabhupada's Vyas Puja should be grand, more grand than Guru's Vyas Puja and things. We all learn this, but practically doesn't happen. So Guru Maharaj wanted that Prabhupada Memorial Festival, which is Prabhupada's arrival in America, be celebrated in a grand way. And after Guru Maharaj's departure, we're continuing the same mood. Although generally what happens is the banner is Prabhupada Memorial Festival, but Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja is celebrated. But actually, we don't want to do that. We honestly want to celebrate it as Prabhupada Memorial Festivals. Last 4 years, and this is the 5th year, the last 4 years, there is 4 days festival, and 3.5 days is pure glorification of Srila Prabhupada. And only half day, 17th evening, we do Guru Maharaj glorification. So this year also, we are following the same pattern. And this year, it's very special because Prabhupada arrived in America in 1965, and this is 2025, 60th anniversary of Prabhupada's arrival in America. And it's also Guru Maharaj's 80th Vyas Puja. So we gave it name Prabhupada Memorial 6080. So we're trying to do it. We are having a special boat festival this year, where we'll not have deities of Radha Krishna. We'll have Prabhupada's deity in a boat. It will be a Jalduta boat. And we'll have a boat festival with Prabhupada's deity, the different singing and dancing. Around 15 or 17 Prabhupada disciples, different sannyasis, senior devotees are coming to give their association. And the beauty of this festival is every year it is growing. And the wonderful part is not just Guru Maharaj disciples, because the festival is around Srila Prabhupada. Now we are getting disciples of other gurus. We are getting so many different God families coming together into this festival. Like Chandramauli Swami Maharaj is bringing around 30-40 foreign disciples of his to come to this festival to attend the whole program. And we celebrate his Vyas Puja as well. From Pune, Chowpatty, more than 200 devotees are coming, Radhanath Maharaj disciples to participate. Different sectors, like from Bangalore, devotees are coming, Jayapataga Maharaj disciples. So many God families coming together to honor Srila Prabhupada. That is giving us more and more courage, and we feel, yes, what Guru Maharaj wanted, we must be happy. But we are really trying to keep Srila Prabhupada in the center and doing this festival. So I request all devotees, please plan to come. 14th September we start, and this year we are having initiations by Chandramauli Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Prem Swami Maharaj. 2-3 sannyasis will give initiations together, and then we'll have Prabhupada Memorial Festival starting in afternoon of 14th. So 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th half day we'll have Prabhupada Katha. So this year we changed the model little bit because nowadays the podcasts are very famous and panel talks instead of regular lectures. So this year we are doing Amog Leela Prabhu is coming, Nitai Sevani Mataji is coming. They will be the host for different panel talks, interviews, and panel talks. So that's how we'll arrange Prabhupada disciples to share on different themes like Prabhupada's humor, Prabhupada's chastisement, Prabhupada's care for devotees. There are different themes. Prabhupada's expectation about book distribution, Prabhupada expected from the Grihasthas. These are different themes we have put. And these devotees, Prabhupada disciples will be interviewed, questions related to these themes. And on the 17th evening, we'll have Guru Maharaj's 80th Vyas Puja. 18th morning, we'll have Chandramauli Maharaj Vyas Puja in person. And then 18th evening, the disciples and well-wishers will read their offerings to Guru Maharaj, because on 17th evening, only Prabhupada disciples and sannyasis, they get chance. But Guru Maharaj disciples, they get chance on 18th evening. So that's how this festival is. And 19th, 20th, 21st, 3 days, Chandramauli Maharaj is doing a retreat with all his well-wishers and disciples, local devotees. He'll give a retreat. And Bhakti Prem Maharaj, Bhakti Sar Govindananda Maharaj, Bhakti Keval Gopendra Krishna Maharaj, Bhakti Vijay Bhagwat Maharaj, they all are our second generation sannyasis, our godbrothers. They all will have a Bengali retreat also 3 days. So there are a lot of Bengali devotees. They will have Bengali retreat and simultaneously English retreat by Chandramouli Maharaj. So now the festival is extending. It was 4 days before, but now it became 1 week. It may get 10 days. You never know. So that's how it's extending. So we need a lot of guidance and help. So please come and you support in different services. You can lead different services, different areas. Like I know Samendra Krishna Prabhu is coming, and I heard Braj Kumari Mata is coming with her family. So different devotees, please plan to come. You include this in your yearly schedule. This festival of Prabhupada Memorial. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's just raised the excitement 100 times more. So we will be there, and please engage us anything that we can do in there. So thank you very much. Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, such a wonderful program, Prabhu. So nice to see that growth is phenomenal, and the wonderful point that you made that that devotees from all ISKCON gurus are now participating because Srila Prabhupada is at the center. Imagine what would be Guru Maharaj, joy. I think Guru Maharaj will be so pleased with this. That is exactly what he wanted. Thank you so much. This is just phenomenal. Prabhu, I don't know how you are going on time. I had a few questions, but I don't want to keep you if you have commitments because I know that your time is very, very precious.
No, it's okay. We can discuss.
Okay, thank you. So I have, Prabhu, a few questions. Thank you, Somendra Prabhu, for wonderfully getting Prabhu in our Ishtagoshti. Prabhu, my question is, you made a wonderful point that when we lose something, we realize the importance more about Guru Maharaj. And when Guru Maharaj is not there, now we are actually able to glorify him much, much more, understand his glories. And this is a constant, constant issue or problem with at least myself, I can say, and many, many devotees also, that when we are with these senior Vaishnavas, senior Godbrothers, senior sannyasis, senior devotees, we don't quite realize their presence. We don't quite realize, we're not able to appreciate as much as once they are not there anymore. And so the challenge is twofold. One is, how do we actually not continue with this mode and are able to appreciate when senior Vaishnavas are with us? How do we actually consistently, because at times we work very closely with the devotees and we work very closely with senior Vaishnavas. So our mind is actually extremely, rational and challenges the opinions and views and everything else. Obviously, when the Vaishnavas are not there, it's very easy to also realize their glories and understand. But what if Guru Maharaj comes back in that reality of the physical presence? Would we be able to still glorify him as much as we are glorifying in his absence or anybody's absence? Absence brings us in a mood of appreciation, primarily also because now the devotee is no longer able to view his, opine his presence and give his views, which might be contradictory to my thinking. So I'm just picking out those things. So how do we actually understand this, and what's your realization? How do we actually continue to glorify? Sorry for the long rambling, but my point is, I do realize that there are senior Vaishnavas amongst us, around us. They're correcting us, chastising us, or helping us grow in our bhakti, but we don't quite appreciate them. And one day they will be not there, and if I'm there, then I will start glorifying them. Again, the same thing will happen, at least for me. So please help me understand that, Prabhu.
So Guru Maharaj was so merciful. A few occasions he even corrected that point. Like one time there was an Ishtagoshti in Ujjain, and in the middle of the thing, Guru Maharaj asked, "Are you all recording this?" Devotees were silent. Guru Maharaj said, "You are taking me for granted." He told that. So don't take me for granted. During lockdown time, Guru Maharaj said that I'll meet the apartment devotees. In temple we have these towers where Grihasthas live. So we arranged for a class. Guru Maharaj went there, and the managers of temple were not there. So Guru Maharaj was upset. After class, he said, "Where were the managers? And where were the recording? Why were you not recording?" He chastised me. So he was even mercifully correcting that you should value your spiritual master. Now this can happen to senior devotees. For senior devotees also, as you mentioned, there are two things we can do. One is we should not just hear from the devotee, but we should also hear about the devotee. Like we all have experienced when we read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit, our gratitude to read Prabhupada books increase. When we hear Prabhupada glories, we tend to hear Prabhupada's lectures, we tend to read his books more sincerely. So in the same way, there should be some platforms where we hear glories of senior Vaishnavas. How much they have sacrificed, how much they have done for this movement, what is their personality, how they carry teachings of Srila Prabhupada in their personal life. There should be discussion. Another thing is self personal reflection. When we start to meditate, that what will I do without these devotees? How will I sustain my life without these devotees? So if we reflect on that point, we realize that I should start valuing their association. So it happens many times, we take things for granted and we tend to even offend. But then we need to go back and do at least these two things. And therefore, there are these platforms of Vyas Pujas in our parampara. But there may not be Vyas Pujas for each devotee, but we can have some platform where devotees of a community come together, hear glories of each other. Different communities do, they have a bowl with names of different devotees, they pick up a random name, and so these type of activities, they help to each other, to help to understand each other's contribution to contribution to the moment. And that's how we prepare our consciousness. But in Krishna consciousness, there is never loss. Even though we realize now, that is also good. Because now we tend to take his teachings more seriously. So it's never too late. It's never too late in Krishna consciousness. Like we say in separation, the presence becomes more available, because then you think about the person all the time. So in the same way, okay, that time we couldn't do, that's right. But now we should be more grateful that at least we are realizing it now. Like after Guru Maharaj left, there were some clashes, in our services. And I was in one meeting, I was mentioning that where was this devotee when Guru Maharaj was around? Why didn't he come to help that time? I was so foolish to tell that. And now he's coming and he's telling all these suggestions. So one senior devotee corrected me. He said, can't you be grateful that he's coming now? Can't you be grateful that he's realizing it now and he wants to reconnect with your spiritual master now? So then I realized that yes, bhakti never ends with physical proximity. So even if we are realizing it now, it's good that we can still please Guru Maharaj. We can still take him seriously in our lives. So yes, while living, we can try different things to value devotees. But the moment we realize, it's also better. It's not too late.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you. Yes,
Um,
please.
Prabhu, can I add something to what Krishna Prabhu
Yes,
said?
yes, please, Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prabhu. Yes.
Guru Maharaj was giving a class on Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's disappearance. And he gave a class in Bengali, so obviously I didn't understand most of it. But then some of Tamal Krishna Maharaj's disciples actually met in Guru Maharaj's room. I'm talking this in Mayapur. I don't remember the year, probably somewhere around 2015 time frame. And they picked up the same point that, when their Guru Maharaj was there, there was a lot of service, but there was no appreciation. But now that he has left, they understand that ISKCON would not have been what it has today without Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's contribution. And Guru Maharaj actually said that your thinking is very wrong. He said the fact that you are thinking that your Guru Maharaj has departed is wrong. He said actually, sorry. So he said that actually the Guru is always watching you. In whatever you are doing, Guru is always there with you. And he gave example of gopis. He said gopis go through two things. One is gopis think that Krishna is gone to Mathura and Krishna is not there, and therefore they are they're crying. But Rajendra Krishna is always hiding. He is still seeing, and actually he comes to dance with them, and the gopis faint again. That we are imagining Krishna is gone, but Krishna is still here. So Guru Maharaj said that to think your Guru is not looking at you is itself a wrong. And then he also said, furthermore, he said, Radharani, when she goes into Mahabhav, Krishna is there and Radharani thinks that Krishna is not there. And when Krishna is not there, she thinks that Krishna is there. So Guru Maharaj said that in thinking like Krishna and gopis, for Guru, the disciples are like his gopis. He's very close to his disciples. So how can he ever leave his disciples? So the learning I got from that was that we can't see from our material eyes. We don't have Divya eyes. But Guru has Divya eyes. But Guru, even in Divya world, is actually here with us. He's watching us. So we have to. Krishna Kishore Prabhu, correct me if I'm wrong anywhere.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing, keeping Guru Maharaj. And this is what we were discussing, that it's never too late. We can still serve him. And still, like Loknath Swami Maharaj recently came and he did department heads meeting with all Ujjain leaders. And one devotee was mentioning that in Hindi he was saying, Guru Maharaj ye karna chahte the, Guru Maharaj wo karna chahte the. And then Loknath Maharaj beech mein bole, karna chahte the nahi, karna chahte hain. So he was mentioning that Guru Maharaj wanted to do this, Guru Maharaj wanted to do this project, that project. And then he corrected. He said, not that he wanted to do, he wants to do. And you all have to fulfill it. So he's still there. And as Shyam Sundar Prabhu was mentioning, Guru never leaves his disciple. So we can still take up that spirit, start service, take his teaching seriously, and we can please him as much as we were trying to serve him when he was physically present. That's much
Yeah, it's so nice.
possible.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, for wonderfully sharing. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Always grateful to these senior God brothers. Yes, Sumit Prabhu, please go ahead.
Now, it's a wonderful discussion. We are at the end of our allotted time. So
Okay.
Prabhu also have engagement. But thank you very much for this wonderful discussion.
Thank you.
That's what the real meaning of poetry. We come and we discuss and we glorify not only gurus but also all Vaishnavas. So thank you all very much. Krishna Kishore Prabhu, thank you very much. We love to
Thank you
see you
so
again
much.
and again.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Jai.
Again. And then, yes, for everyone else, thank you all for joining. So we finish the session here today. Vancha kalpataru varsha kripa sindhuvayasya patitanam pavanebhyo
Krishna Kishore Prabhu ki jai ho.
Jai.
Ramacharya Shri Das Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Krishna Kishore Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.